Maya stood outside the towering glass building, clutching the envelope so tightly her knuckles turned white. Inside that envelope was the money she had spent months saving, the last thread of her family's honor. Her heart pounded like thunder in her chest. People brushed past her, perfectly dressed, perfectly confident, but she felt like she didn't belong. Her reflection in the glass made her pause, a big girl in a faded dress, carrying the weight of her father's mistakes on her shoulders. Her father, once a proud shopkeeper, had taken a loan from a powerful businessman, the CEO of Rayner Enterprises, Mr. Adrian Rayner. But when the business failed, her father's health collapsed with it. Maya had dropped out of college, taken 3 part-time jobs, and sold almost everything they owned just to pay him back. And today she was here to end it, to pay the debt and walk away from shame. When she stepped into the CEO's office, it was like stepping into another world. Sleek, cold, and intimidating. Adrian Rayner looked up from his desk, his sharp eyes scanning her quietly. He was everything she wasn't, confident, elegant, and composed. "Maya Collins?" he asked, his voice calm yet firm. "Yes, sir," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I've come to repay my father's debt, every cent. It took some time, but I finally have it." She placed the envelope on his desk, lowering her eyes to hide the tears that threatened to spill. Adrian didn't take the envelope. He just stared at her, curious. "You worked for this yourself?" She nodded. "I couldn't let my father live with the guilt. It wasn't his fault entirely. He just trusted the wrong people." Silence filled the room. Adrian leaned back, eyes narrowing slightly. He remembered her father, a kind, honest man who had helped many but was destroyed by one bad deal. "Maya," Adrian said finally, "your father's debt was written off months ago. You don't owe me a penny." Her head snapped up. "What? But why?" "Because I never wanted his money," Adrian said, his tone softening. "He was a good man who fell on hard times. I don't collect debts from people who gave their all." Maya's lip trembled. "Then why didn't anyone tell us? I worked myself to exhaustion thinking we still owed you." He looked at her, really looked at her, and saw the tiredness in her eyes, the quiet strength behind her pain. "Maybe you needed to prove something to yourself," he said gently. "And maybe I needed to see that kind of determination again." Adrian stood and walked around his desk, stopping in front of her. "If you really want to repay me, then do one thing." "What is it?" she asked cautiously. "Have dinner with me." Her eyes widened. "Dinner? Yes. No contracts, no money, just a conversation. You've worked hard enough. Let someone else take care of things for one evening." Maya hesitated. Everything about this man screamed power, but his tone was kind, almost human. Against her instincts, she agreed. "All right, just one dinner." That evening, Maya found herself sitting across from him at a quiet restaurant overlooking the city. For the first time in years, she was not serving food, cleaning tables, or worrying about bills. She was simply seen. Adrian didn't talk about business. He asked about her dreams, her family, and her favorite childhood memories. She laughed, something she hadn't done freely in months. He listened like every word she said mattered, and for the first time, she felt like she did too. As the night went on, Adrian told her something that changed everything. "When I was your age," he said, "my mother struggled to pay off debts my father left behind. We lost everything. That's why I started my company, not to make money but to make sure people like her never had to beg again." Maya's eyes softened. "So you helped my father because you saw yourself in him?" Adrian nodded. "And I see something in you too, courage. You didn't hide, you faced it. That's rare. Weeks passed after that dinner. Adrian offered Maya a position at his company, not out of pity, but because he saw her drive and intelligence. She hesitated at first, afraid of being judged for her appearance and background, but Adrian's faith in her pushed her forward. The office wasn't kind at first. Some co-workers whispered about the big girl who got the CEO's attention. Maya heard it all, every cruel joke and every backhanded compliment. But she didn't let it break her. She worked harder than anyone else, learning quickly and proving that worth had nothing to do with size, money, or background. One day, during a company presentation, Maya stood before a room full of executives and investors, presenting a project she had built from scratch. Her voice was steady, her ideas sharp, and when she finished, the room erupted in applause. Adrian watched from the corner, pride glimmering in his eyes. Afterward, he approached her quietly. "You did it," he said with a smile. "No," Maya replied, smiling back. "We did it. You gave me a chance when no one else would." He shook his head. "You gave yourself that chance. I just opened the door. As time went on, their friendship deepened, built on respect, compassion, and shared strength. Maya helped expand the company's outreach to struggling families, turning her pain into purpose. And slowly, something gentle began to bloom between them, something neither expected but both welcomed with time. Years later, Maya stood beside Adrian at a charity event, confident, radiant, and proud of the journey she had taken. Reporters called her the heart of Rayner Enterprises, but to Adrian, she was something much more, a reminder that kindness, when planted in broken soil, grows the strongest roots. When someone asked her how she turned her life around, Maya smiled softly and said, "I went to pay a debt, but I left with a purpose, and someone who saw value in me when I couldn't see it myself." The crowd applauded, but Adrian's quiet gaze said more than words could. That night, as they walked together under the city lights, Maya whispered, "You once said I owed you dinner. I think I still do." He smiled, taking her hand gently. "Then let's make it forever."